Hello, we are Group 15. We'd like to present brand audit of Mr. Donuts. Mr. Donuts is a fast food franchise founded in United States in 1955. 1980s, over 550 stores in US and Canada. Then moving its headquarters to Japan in 1983, Mr. Donuts became a Japanese company. Primary products of Mr. Donuts is donuts, coffee, muffin, and pastries. Subsidiary of the Skin brand, the Skin Robin, and Dunkin' Donuts.
Alright, thank you, Ayano. I'm moving on to the brand inventory. But first, I'm going to explain about the brand name and brand logo, which are one of the most significant brand elements. The brand name, Mr. Donuts, actually came from the founder Harley Winker's nickname. His favorite bank clerk called him Mr. Donuts, so he decided to use it as his shop name. In terms of the brand name, it's appropriate because it's quite easy to associate it with a donut shop, and it's also short and simple, easy to remember. How about the brand logo? In fact, its brand logo also derived from the founder Harley Winkers. It described Harley Winkers with his mustache, a bow tie, and chef hat on head, and this logo has never changed before, except for the color. The fact that both brand name and logo originated from the founders have never changed before signified they've inherited its original brand cultures and thinking a great deal of it. Okay, so let's move on to the brand slogan. The brand slogan is a tool to convey the brand spirit to the public, so it is also important. Mr. Donuts settled its new slogan, "Ikot also Mr. Donuts," in 2016. "Ikot also" means there is something good in Japanese, but it includes a message that they provide a good donuts and they would like to offer good things. And so the Mr. Donuts, they would like their customers to have various kind of good experience. It published advertisement like the one on the slide, also collaborated this slogan with a Pokemon to communicate its message. Let's move on to its products. Obviously, its main products are donuts. Most of donuts cost 100 yen to 150 yen, but it also offers premium ones, which cost more than 200 yens. Since the very beginning, it stuck to their producing way that it makes all the donuts at each shop. Therefore, donuts always maintain freshness when they reach the customers. The vast variety of menu is attractive for the customer. As the picture on the right side shows, Mr. Donuts deal in the 59 kinds of the donuts last years. You'll release a new donuts or limited edition ones around every month. Some of them, especially limited edition ones, are collaboration items, like with Pokemon, Tsujiri, which is popular matcha shop, and so on. And Mr. Donuts has approached a health problem too. Donut and other foods such as butter and margarine include a trans fatty acid, which has a risk to increase the possibility of serious disease if it's taken much. Mr. Donuts attempted this problem in 2007 and succeeded to decrease amount of the trans fatty acid in donuts in developing new oil, flours, and so on. Therefore, the customers can enjoy its donuts without a concern about their health. Moreover, the new oil, which is called a frying oil, is also the key for the taste of the donuts. The oil has a slight taste in itself. It also contributes to the keeping the donuts from being oily. So I've talked about how much effort it made for making the best donuts. However, it's not only donuts that Mr. Donuts has worked hard to develop, but also coffee. The price is around 250 yen, and you can refill as many times as you want for free. And Mr. Donut is quite particular about the coffee. It used only selected beans from Guatemala and Brazil. It also studies and pursues the coffee which goes the best with its donuts. Therefore, it figures out the perfect ratio of each element of coffee, which is the graph on the right side. Then, the following the graph, they compound those beans, sugars, and other ingredients. It also developed a special coffee machine, which is arranged like the picture on the left side, and install the machine into every single shop. Therefore, they can serve the totally the same coffee at every shop. Okay, and beside the donuts and coffee, it serves pie, pasta, noodle, hot dog, pizza, soup, and various kind of drink. There are some collaborated items, same as donuts. For example, it developed some noodles, fried rice, and marble collaborating with Ken Tin, who is known as one of the pioneer chefs of Chinese food. Surprisingly, it offers cups, dishes, lunch boxes too. As you see the pictures, they are all cute and they sell it as kit set or lucky box. Now I'd like to introduce its advertisements. Nowadays, Mr. Donuts utilize many advertisement means, such as TV commercial, flyers, poster, insert, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Actually, before the social media came up, the main advertising method of Mr. Donuts were only TV commercial and flyers with coupons inside the newspapers. However, the TV commercial and flyer were not enough to publicize assorted donuts and other products. Therefore, it started running its accounts on Twitter in 2010. It makes around 30 posts a week. In the present, Mr. Donuts has an account on other SNS too, such as Instagram and YouTube. For TV commercial, Mr. Donuts has casted many celebrities such as Joji Tokoro, Matsuko Drax, and Masahiro Aiba. Mr. Donuts also created unique characters in shape of donuts. Then it put commercial and made some story of them. These things keep Mr. Donuts' brand image like exciting, friendly, and fun. And they also appeal to the children.
Mr. Donuts has stores all over Japan. There are 977 stores nationwide. The prefectures with the largest number of stores are Tokyo, Osaka, and Aichi. Each of these prefectures has stores as following: Tokyo has 79 stores, Osaka has 73 stores, Aichi has 52 stores. This shows that stores are concentrated in prefectures with large populations. On the other hand, if we look at the fluctuations in the number of stores, we can see that the number is decreasing year by year. Every year, the number of the stores is decreasing by about 80. Continuing on, we will talk about the big change in the brand strategy. In the past, most of the bags for to-go of Mr. Donuts used to look like American designs. But since the entry of Krispy Kreme donuts, the bags have become more Japanese. Mr. Donuts also regularly collaborates with other high-class confectionery manufacturers to sell expensive donuts. In fact, Mr. Donuts has co-developed products with famous Japanese green tea maker Gion Tsujiri, Pierre Marcolini, and Pierre Hermé.
In order to know popularity of Mr. Donuts, we searched SNS followers. On Twitter, there are 246,000 followers. Also, Instagram has 1 million followers. To clarify the popularity of the film, an event held in Twitter to celebrate 50th anniversary called Misudo no Omoido. Mr. Donuts received users' memory related to Mr. Donuts. Customers post their memory with putting the hashtag. Mr. Donuts collected them and gave some present for selected person. This event showed Mr. Donuts is the most familiar donut shop for Japanese. No other donut shops haven't held such events. In addition, Mr. Donuts have held fan meeting since 2018 in all prefectures in Japan. In this meeting, customers give directory suggestions for Mr. Donuts workers. This event showed the company focused on customers' opinion. We found reviews from people who worked part-time on Mr. Donuts. 3 types of review on the internet. First is working environment. Workers could eat donuts during the break time. Also, Mr. Donuts strictly take care of hygiene management. For example, workers in kitchen must wear cap to put away their hair in it. But some stores make large waste, so isn't eco-friendly. Secondly, is rewarding. People who like communication with others is suitable job. However, there are little chance to increase the salary. Finally is vacation. Workers can get overtime free suddenly, so someone saying working overtime is no problem. But When a worker wants to absent, he or she needs to find alternative workers. This absence style is common in Japanese part-time workers.
Next, we will look at the similarities and differentiations between Mr. Donuts and its competitors. One of Mr. Donuts' competitors is Krispy Kreme Donuts. There are two similarities between these two companies. The first, they both sell mini donuts that can be eaten easily. Second is that both sell only fresh donuts. Now, let's have a look at the differences. There are four major differences between Mr. Donut and Krispy Kreme donuts. The first is that Mr. Donuts makes its donuts by hand, while Krispy Kreme Donuts makes its donuts in the factory. The second is that Mr. Donuts is based in Japan, while Krispy Kreme Donuts is based in the US. The reason why Mr. Donuts packaging has changed to look more Japanese, as I mentioned earlier, is probably because a US-based company has entered the market. Third is difference in sales. While Mr. Donuts has sale where each item is sold for 100 yen, Krispy Kreme Donuts has a buy 12 get 12 sale. Fourth is that Mr. Donuts offers free coffee refill service, while Krispy Kreme Donuts doesn't. As can be seen from these differences, Mr. Donuts seems to have an advantage in terms of easy access to donuts.
From now on, I will explain about the brand exploratory. First, we conducted analysis of prior research studies. COVID-19 pandemic has affected the economies of the world and all industries. Among them, the most affected area is the restaurant industry. Our group judged that it is better to see the results until the first half of 2019 before Corona affected to find out the brand's performance. Therefore, as part of the brand internal investigation, the 2019 settlement report of the parent company, Duskin Corporation, was identified. As shown in the PPT, the food group fell by 2,198 billion yen from the previous quarter to 35,426 billion yen. As a result, operating profit fell by 36 million yen from the previous quarter to 320 million yen. The report explains that the reason for the decline in food group sales and operating profit is that the closure of the stores has led to a decrease in customer sales due to a decrease of the number of Mr. Donut's operating stores and both royalty income and low material sales to franchises. Although internal investigation has found out that Mr. Donut is in the business deficit, external investigation have found that Mr. Donut is still leading the Japanese donut specialty store market. Compared to Krispy Kreme and Hara Donuts, which have less than 100 stores, Mr. Donuts with 100 to 1,000 stores have a significant difference compared to compare the number of the stores in the current donut chains. In other restaurant chains, Mr. Donut is a large chain that goes beyond Dr. Coffee. We also conducted a survey to find out what consumers think about Mr. Donuts. The questions was consist of basic respondents' information, such as age group and nationality, and 18 selective and descriptive questions created by the team. 39 people answered this question. The respondents included people in teenagers to 30s, and we were able to receive answers from 13 countries, including Japanese, Koreans, and Indians. 33 people, 84.6% of the total, said they often spend money on desserts. Moreover, over the 40% of the respondents answered that they spend less than 1,000 yen, and 48% answered that between 1,000 and 3,000 yen would be used to purchase desserts. This can be said Mr. Donut, which measure the price of menus between 100 yen and 300 yen, has good understanding of the consumer's purchasing power and how much money they want to spend on donuts. We also ask what their favorite donut shop is. The large number of respondents, 38.5%, said Krispy Kreme, 28.2% answered Mr. Donut. Other competitors included convenience stores, which had 20%, and the Dunkin' stores of 7%. According to the survey, most people value the taste when they buy in donuts. Next, recommendation from other people are also important. When asked whether they would recommend Mr. Donut to others, 84% of the respondents answered positively. When asked how they got to know Mr. Donut, 23% of the respondents, excluding 26% who answered just passing by, were introduced by others. The same percentage of respondents said they got to know the brand through advertising. Through this, we were able to see that Mr. Donut is gaining customers through advertising and viral marketing. Also, we asked questions about the image of the brand that Mr. Donut has. Most of the answer was about their cheap and reasonable image. Many of the answers also said sweet and cute images. Respondents' opinion on the logo were contrary to the brand image. The majority of respondents failed to associate the company's logo with the donut. They answered that they think of the trap when they see the logo. Looking at these responses, we analyzed that the current logo is consistent with the current direction of the company, which provides a number of different menus as well as its main product donuts. When asked about the company's improvements, 5 answered that the logo should be improved, same number of people answered that the taste should be improved, and 4 answered that the marketing should be improved, and another 4 answered that the menu is insufficient. Given this aspect of the answer, we can think that the company does not see any outstanding problem in the current situation because the improvement that customer thinks are distributed in various ways. Based on the survey and internal and external research, we made mental map of Mr. Donut. A mental map is a type of graphical representation of thoughts. When you lay out information visually, you are able to create a better understanding of the concept than if you use traditional note-taking methods. Essentially, a main idea branches out into specific topics where content is structured in a way similar to your thinking processes. We decided performance, negative image, consumer, and logo as the main idea and extended the branch about the market's opinion about the Mr. Donut. For the performances, the results were preferred price and fresh, high quality donuts. Mr. Donut is recognized as the Japanese and young brand. They were there were negative opinions about the logo, but there were also opinions that it is simple and effective. For the negative aspects, we could think of marketing that was not effective and lack of menus compared to cost competitors.
Our group interviewed Mr. Donut. From now on, I will talk about Mr. Donut's answers to our interview questions. The first question was, what do you think is the biggest advantage of Mr. Donut? They say that the biggest advantage of Mr. Donuts is their fresh and excellent taste. And other donut companies produce donuts in factories, but they have a donut expert who has completed the donut academy, and at the store they make hot donuts by hand. They said that donuts can be sold fresh and deliciously by running Mr. Donut University so that franchises can learn how to make donuts. The second question was, what is the most important thing when designing a new product? The most important thing when they come up with new products is to develop unique products that can meet the needs of customers of a wide range of age groups. And they are always seeking new flavors, such as co-developing products with other brands and introducing beverage menus seasonally. Third, we asked what they think is the most popular menu in Mr. Donut and why. They said they are always releasing short-term menus and new products to continue to be loved by consumers. However, the most popular menus in Mr. Donut are the basic menus that have been loved for a long time, such as podilingu, donut potu, and honey churro. They think when they release the product in the early stages, they release donuts that can identify people's favorite donut styles so they could gain continuous popularity. The fourth question was, what has been the most effective marketing strategy and what is the marketing strategy they are doing these days? They said the most effective marketing was the Lucky Card in the 1980s. Lucky Card, if you collect the scores points, you will get access to daily necessity designed by Osamu Harada. Of course, the dominant era was the consumption behavior of purchasing good products, even though they were a little expensive. But for donut companies, it is important to occupy the market in the early stages, and this marketing was possible to gain popularity so far. Although they have been marketing continuously for a long time, one of the marketing they are currently doing is selling a set of keys by collaborating with Pokemon. Selling Pokemon collaborated products, raising the desire for people who like cute things. Also, they put out a new product on the market on January 8th, and they said they are producing and airline a new advertisement through TVCM to promote the new product. The last question was what kind of company Mr. Donut thinks the competitor is and why. What is the difference between Mr. Donut's product and the competitor's product? And how do they understand the trends of consumers? They describe Krispy Kreme donuts and 7-Eleven donuts as example. And Krispy Kreme donuts, along with Mr. Donuts, are one of the popular donut companies in Japan. Krispy Kreme donuts are very popular overseas, and the original glaze is very popular as the representative menu of Krispy Kreme donuts. Also, donuts in convenience stores do not taste bad, and convenience stores are located around people, so they think 7-Eleven donuts have good accessibility. The difference between our products and other companies' products is that people who have completed the Donut Academy in store make donuts by hand, not from the factory. They also said they are always watching the trends of consumers. For example, they decided that they wanted people to be able to buy donuts quickly in their busy life. So they also offered Mr. Donut to go, a takeout restaurant with a gift element added to Mr. Donut under the concept of Mr. Donut to go.
The first problem with Mr. Donut is the lack of marketing. This problem represents the lack of the ability to identify and accept the needs of the customers in the trend of the times. In general, stores that sell the goods are also sensitive to customers' needs, and it is common knowledge that brands that sell food should be sensitive to customers' responses. Because if they don't meet the needs of consumers, they cannot only attract new customers but also lose existing customers. However, Mr. Donut seems to lack of this ability. Today, I would like to suggest the problem and solution of Mr. Donut by using the example of Korea. There was a time, a few years ago, when the world paid attention to well-being. It was time when everyone paid attention to healthy air, attitudes, life, and food. Of course, Korea also participated in this. When the world was paying attention to well-being, donut companies were selling high-calorie and high-fat foods had to introduce and promote new kinds of donuts as times went by. Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme, famous like Mr. Donuts brand, have introduced and promoted well-being related products to attract new customers without losing customers who are interested in well-being. But Mr. Donut was little different. They lost a lot of customers and stores because of the delay of marketing. The number of stores that existed in Korea has rapidly dropped from 57 to 34 in just 6 months. As a solution to this lack of marketing, I recommend collaborating with famous characters or brands. I think it will be a good opportunity to give a new interest to customers who are tired of existing products and try new things for customers who do not eat donuts well. And the great example of collaboration is Pikachu Donut.
So the second problem is the disposal of inventory of products. Essentially, lack of promotion of new products does not deliver product release or information to customers properly. Those who do not have access to product information or publicity will not be willing to buy the product, suggesting that Mr. Donut will waste a lot of products or have a lot of inventory left. In addition, Mr. Donut has a system that allows customers to freely select various kinds of menus until the store closes. This service can be thought of as a good system because Mr. Donut customers charge most of the products, so that there are no restrictions on menu choices even at the deadline of the stores. However, more resources and products are wasted and forced to be discarded. In other words, the second problem with Mr. Donut is that the thing of disposal of products is serious due to the circulation of a malicious inventory disposal system. So we can think about the solution plan. Currently, Mr. Donut chain stores in Kanto and Tokai regions reproduce and serve unsold donuts as feed for animals in processing plants. Then, in 2019, Mr. Donuts in the Kansai area began recycling the donuts that need to be disposed of into biogas. According to the recent analysis of the Duskin Company, which includes Mr. Donut, wasted 5,187 tons of food products, of which only 42.6% were recycled. Although it shows better results than previous records, we know Mr. Donut still has an environmental problems to improve more. Instead of a disposal system that runs only in the limited areas, a system that actively recycles waste should be established in more areas with measures for recycling. In addition, it is necessary to propose production that does not waste resources in the first place to reduce waste. Through this, Mr. Donut can build an eco-friendly brand image and have a good impact in many aspects because it can cope with the climate crisis well. Developing into one eco-friendly brand, Mr. Donut expects to create opportunities for new positioning. Also, we believe that it is an important brand plan for improvement because many people can think that Mr. Donut has careful thoughts and ideas or plans for corporate social responsibility.
Next is the third problem. Mr. Donut is working hard to develop new products. They develop and introduce new products to their customers every season. Mr. Donut sells a variety of foods such as spaghetti, pizza, and Japanese noodle like soba or ramen, so that customers can eat and experience more menus at their store. However, the problem with Mr. Donut is they develop and sell even things that people do not prefer. For example, Mr. Donut is selling spaghetti, but other than regular meat tomato spaghetti, vegetable spaghetti has been served. However, the vegetable spaghetti was a very unique and unregular menu with green sauce all over it, which seemed it will be very rare even in a spaghetti shop. This was able to catch people's attention, but the evaluation was negative. This is because not only the visual of the food was shocking, but also people did not buy it unless they really like vegetables or vegan. Therefore, this product was not sold for a long time and was discontinued. So what happens when it's discontinued? Discontinuation does not mean that everything is over. Many branches would have had ingredients or goods for the sale of the product. But if the product was not even popular, then sales would definitely be very low, and this will leave all the ingredients for the product abandoned. Furthermore, it is better if a product is discontinued because they no longer have to save ingredients to make the product. But if they are still being sold, households must continue to have the ingredients in inventory to provide it to customers. But if they are not even popular, they will eventually have to be discarded after the expiration date. This problem could cause a big loss to households. Furthermore, will customers really want to come to a donut shop and consume spaghetti, pizza, and other noodle dishes? It is good to provide customers with a variety of products, but the reason most people go to a donut shop is to go buy donuts. If they really want to eat spaghetti and pizza, they can go to a Western restaurant, and if they want to eat soba, they can go to a soba restaurant. If the customer buy other products beside donuts at a donut shop, most of them are good to eat with donuts or buy them because of curiosity. If sales are low, inventory will continue to pile up, and over time, they will eventually be thrown away. Next, please. Thus, the improvement we thought about this problem was to focus only on the main menu, which is donut. It is good to develop new products that fit in that time according to the trend, but things that people will not buy at a donut shop can be discontinued. Then, instead of developing new products, they can be more focused on developing donuts. Then stores don't have to use or make or have useless menus, and they can provide more and more delicious donut to customers. If Mr. Donut wants to put out a product other than a donut, Mr. Donut should sell something that goes well with the donut, such as drinks. If this is done, it is believed that many inventory problems accumulated by unsold goods will be solved.
This is our references.
Thank you for listening.